aid Ukraine for what Central Florida is doing to help. Plus, battling raging wildfires, how local crews are working to get the blaze under control in the Panhandle.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
This is probably one of the most vicious and gruesome incidents that I've witnessed in my 20 years.
Developing tonight, Daytona Beach police on the hunt for a killer after a married couple was found stabbed to death. As WESH 2's Amanda Dukes reports, police say that the couple was attacked as they bicycled home from Main Street.
Daytona Beach police say here at the intersection of North Wild Olive Avenue and Riverview, a horrific murder scene was discovered early Sunday morning. It's just a half mile from the heart of the Bike Week celebration. According to police, around 2 a.m. Sunday, they got a report of two people laying on the grass in the 700 block of North Wild Olive Avenue. When police arrived to what they thought was a hit and run, they discovered evidence of a gruesome murder.
This is probably one of the most vicious and gruesome incidents that I've witnessed in my 20 years.
Chief Jakari Young says the bodies were of a husband and wife who both had multiple stab wounds and their throats had been slashed. He says the couple lived in the area and appeared to have been riding bicycles home from Main Street. As for who killed them and why, it's a mystery.
We can't rule out that this may be totally random, but if it is totally random, the person responsible has to be deranged.
Police say they're looking for a person of interest described simply as a male who may have been wearing a backpack. They say robbery does not appear to be the motive. People who live in the area were stunned to learn of the crime.
That is horrible. I was right there in my house and I didn't hear anything. I was completely oblivious of the situation.
Police moved their mobile command center from Main Street to the murder scene and said they're committed to making sure the crime is solved.
We will spare no expense and we will leave no stone unturned to make sure that this community is safe and feels safe.
In Volusia County, Amanda Dukes, WESH 2 News.
Daytona Beach police is asking anyone with information to call them about that crime. Developing tonight in Titusville, authorities are investigating a shooting death from earlier tonight. Officers say that they found a man shot near the intersection of Tropic Street and Dummett Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police believe that the shooting was not random. The suspect is still on the run. A shooting at a crowded Melbourne bar leaves one man dead and a female employee hospitalized. This one also happened overnight. Police responded to Off the Tracks on East New Haven Avenue at around 1 o'clock this morning. Officers say that Elaine Noel of Palm Bay was shot and killed and a woman was injured. Now, she is expected to recover. So far, no arrests have been made. If you have any information about this crime, you're asked to call Melbourne Police. Let's turn things over to First Warning meteorologist Alex Alisi now for a look at what's going on weather-wise. Alex, some beautiful temperatures out there.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous out there right now at this late hour. If you're going to be heading out for a late night stroll around the neighborhood, no big worries at all. We have clear skies, no rain to worry about, and winds are still a little breezy, but this is manageable from 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the east and the southeast. That's keeping our temperatures from dropping off all too quickly, and we're still in the 70s in most spots. 71 Orlando and Buffalo, 70 degrees now in Kissimmee and St. Cloud, 70 from Ocala down through Leesburg. Claremont has dropped down to 69. Daytona Beach for those people hanging out at Bike Week late at night, still looking great around town. 71 degrees, 70 in New Smyrna Beach, and 74 right now outside in Melbourne. Biking forecast for tomorrow. First half of the day is great, lots of sunshine. As we get later on in the day, clouds will begin to build. It's going to get quite hot, and then by 5 o'clock, watching for some scattered showers. I'm going to time out that rain hour by hour. Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thanks for the update. The Russian invasion of Ukraine continues for the 11th day, and the situation on the ground is getting worse by the hour. Today, the Russian attacks on civilian targets escalated the Ukrainian president's calls for more assistance from the West, us here in the U.S., and NATO. More than 360 civilians have been killed and many more injured. Now, there was heavy shelling today outside of the city's capital. Ukraine and Russia will hold a third round of peace talks Monday, but there are growing fears that Russia will soon expand attacks to more cities. Ukraine's president is making an urgent appeal to world leaders.
If you don't at least give us airplanes so we can defend ourselves, the only thing we can think is that you also want us to be killed slowly.
The White House is in talks with Poland on the possibility of backfiling their fighter jets so that Poland can give its Russian-made jets to Ukraine. Several lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say that they support a ban on Russian oil imports to the U.S. A mother and daughter from Ukraine had plans to get to Florida for a festival, but little did they know that they would be escaping a catastrophic war just hours after their departure. WESH 2 sat down with the pair tonight to hear their story.
Olya Pavlenko holds back tears as she talks about her homeland of Ukraine and what's left of her country.
Тому що там залишилися мої батьки, мій будинок.
I left behind my parents, my friends, my home, my work, the things that I love.
Pavlenko is an author and artist. She and her 16-year-old daughter, Sonia Filanovska, planned a trip to Miami for a Ukrainian festival before they even knew what was going to happen. But hours after leaving, Russian tanks headed toward her town of Poltava, and the bombings began. The pair found themselves among the river of refugees flooding to Poland.
Потягів було кілька, вони були забиті.
So the train were overfull with many people.
Mostly women and children were allowed to cross. Mom and daughter made it out safely with the help of random strangers in Poland. They took a chance continuing their journey to Florida, knowing it may be a long time before they could return home, if at all.
There was no way for us to get back home. There were no train, no buses, nothing.
Once here and with no place to go, some Good Samaritans led them to Oviedo and lent more than a helping hand. They're beyond grateful for the outpouring of support from average Americans wanting to help. Still, their heart breaks for their country and everything they've left behind.
Мені дуже важко.
It's hard for me because I know they are not in a safe place and there is no safety for them. But I'm trying to stay in touch. We're talking and writing to each other.
Well, Pavlenko says that she does have her green card and that her daughter will soon be able to enroll in school. She also says that she hopes to send money back to Ukraine once she gets established here. Meanwhile, an Orange County church is seeing a big turnout from the Central Florida community to help send supplies to Ukraine. Take a look at St. Mary the Protectress Ukrainian Catholic Church in Apopka. Today, people of both Ukrainian descent and those with no family ties who want to help out brought food, clothing, blankets, medical supplies, and other items, all to send to those who've been displaced and needing assistance.
I can't go to Ukraine and help people there. So this is the least I can do is come to the little church, donate, and they're going to take care of taking the items there.
Well, those supplies are going to go to Chicago, where a flight for humanitarian aid will head to that war-torn nation. Coming up in our next half hour, more companies are halting business with Russia because of the invasion into Ukraine. We're going to tell you which companies are now cutting ties. Right now, Bike Week is in full swing in Daytona Beach. Thousands of motorcycle enthusiasts from across the country are here, but it's also an important reminder to be careful on the roadways. Crews across several counties responded to crashes all night long. Out in Volusia, one turned deadly. This one happening along State Route 44, close to Volusia Fairgrounds, when a car hit two motorcycles. A driver and a passenger of one bike were killed, the second biker suffering serious injuries. A third motorcycle attempted to avoid that crash by laying his bike down. That driver only had minor injuries. The crash remains under investigation. In Seminole County, a crash shut down a section of Lake Mary Boulevard this morning. This one happening on the boulevard near State Road 417. Troopers believe that a motorcyclist may have run a red light, colliding with the car. The cyclist was badly hurt and rushed to the hospital. Traffic was diverted around the scene for several hours. Wildfires continue to rage in the Panhandle tonight. You're looking at video from the State Fire Marshal's office showing just how much damage has been done to homes. The fire burned so strong that first responders from Central Florida are working side by side with firefighters there to try and contain it. WESH 2's Dave McDaniel spoke with the leader of the strike team as they pitch in to save lives and homes.
They were stating that they definitely needed us, our help, and needed us up there.
Orange County reached out, offering help in the Panhandle, and it was help quickly accepted. A strike team including Seminole, Osceola, Cape Canaveral, and St. Cloud, and headed by Orange County, loaded up supplies and gear on Saturday. They rolled out just after sunset, driving straight through to the scene.
I can tell you that the winds up here are pretty strong.
The fire in just Bay County is roughly 1,400 acres and only about a third contained since it started Friday. No definitive cause, but it's been suggested a trash fire may have gotten out of hand. Neighboring counties are also dealing with fires, and leftover hurricane debris isn't helping.
And it's anywhere up to an 8-mile long front of fire, and we're going to be doing some suppression activities down towards that area.
The initial plan for the deployment is for anywhere from 3 to 5 days, but of course, if conditions change in the Panhandle, they could be staying longer, and their mission could also change.
And if the winds do end up changing, we're going to do some structural protection in some neighborhoods.
Several structures are destroyed, a dozen more damaged. Dave McDaniel, WESH 2 News.
Hundreds of evacuations have been ordered, and people are asked to avoid burning yard debris in such dry conditions. So to come on WESH 2, a gruesome discovery in Palm Beach County. A woman murdered, her body found in a septic tank. Details on the man accused of killing her.
I wasn't thinking of anybody stopping in that situation because the fire was so big.
And a harrowing rescue. One man stopping to rescue a woman from a fiery wreck just before her car, well, you see it right there, exploded. Now the victim and the man who saved her are reuniting. We'll have their story next on WESH 2.
Double cab for only $149 a month. Go to ToyotaOrlando.com and ToyotaClaremont.com.
After my car accident, Dan got me $510,000, 40 times more than what the insurance company offered.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me Saturday or Sunday at 407-888-8000.
Dan, your team was the best. Thank you.
On April 3rd, a drunk driver killed 16-year-old Jeremy Becker while he was riding his bicycle home. He also killed the marriage to his wife, Heidi, the woman he would have met in 5 years. Their 2 children, Matthew and Jenny. The day's on Lake Griffin, and the day his daughter would have been married on the lawn of the home they would have lived in.
This is your invitation to experience all the feelings inspired by Lexus at the Invitation to Lexus sales event.
Okay, it's time to sell the house.
Home selling with OfferPad is as easy as... Welcome to OfferPad. How can we help? Ooh, let's go with Express Sell.
With a cash offer in 24 hours.
Close in 28 days.
And a side of free local move.
You got it. And that comes with no showings. Extra no showings, please. Perfect.
Take control. Selling is easy with OfferPad Express. Request your free offer today at OfferPad.com.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan.
You're invited. The Rooms to Go anniversary sale is going on now. So get ready to save big with 66-month interest-free financing and low monthly payments on incredible styles store-wide starting at $5.99. Amazing pieces, beautiful rooms, great sale prices, and low interest-free monthly payments for 66 months starting at $5.99. Let's go. The anniversary sale at Rooms to Go is going on now.
Take a look at this. A California man risked his own life to save a complete stranger who was trapped inside of that burning vehicle. Orko Manna from our sister station in Sacramento spoke with the victim and the man who saved her about his harrowing rescue.
This car burning on the side of the freeway Wednesday night with the Sacramento area woman stuck inside.
It could have blown at any time. It went that fast.
Christine Smith of Antelope says she, her husband, and their granddaughter were driving on I-80 near the Riverside exit when their trip turned tense.
And I just heard the pop underneath, and I figured we had a flat tire.
But whatever they hit caused the car to burst into flames. It was a struggle for Christine to get out since she just had knee surgery and her loved ones could not help.
I wasn't thinking of anybody stopping in that situation because the fire was so big.
But then Elton Ward came into the picture.
And then I see this car in flames. So I'm like, that's insane.
Elton was driving with his daughter and knew he had to pull over. He grabbed Christine out of the burning car just in time.
Literally a matter of 30 seconds. Boom, first explosion. Loud, big explosion. Then when that explosion happens, huge flames come up.
Sacramento Metro Fire got there minutes later to put it out.
How are you?
Good about yourself?
Oh, hey, getting through it.
KCRA 3 capturing this joyful reunion Saturday between Christine and Elton, the two thankful to have met despite the circumstances.
She would not let me go, that's for
Said,
sure.
nope, you became my grandson that day.
Elton says even though no one else did, stopping to help was the right thing to do.
We all got grandmas, grandpas, little nieces, nephews, brothers, whatever. If y'all see my people, I want you to try to help my people, so that's somebody's people.
Sacramento Metro Fire commending Elton for his swift action.
Had they not stopped and made that rescue, there's a very strong likelihood that those victims would have perished in that vehicle fire.
We're totally grateful for his help.
Christine, fully aware of this miracle.
Thank the good Lord, he sent me a good Samaritan that stopped for me. So I think that it all comes back. The community needs to have more young people and more examples like this.
What a great guy. I can't believe that story. Kristen and Elton say that they now share a strong bond after that rescue, and they do plan to stay in touch. Let's talk about what's going on weather-wise. I don't know, Alex. I can't find any other word here. I'm going to need a thesaurus. Beautiful temperatures, amazing, fantastical.
Oh, yeah. It's
gorgeous.
Absolutely great out there. I mean, you can't get much better than this in March in Central Florida to be outside late at night. Right around Lake Eola, still looking really good. 71 degrees, clear skies. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. I know a lot of people are in town in Daytona Beach for Bike Week. Winds are a little calmer there, 3 miles per hour now, but with the wind generally out from the east and the southeast, that's keeping our temperatures from dropping off all too quickly. And still 71 degrees out in Daytona Beach, 70 right now at New Smyrna Beach, 74 in Melbourne, 70 in St. Cloud, still 70 from Ocala down through Leesburg, 69 in Claremont and Wildwood. And DeLand right now feeling wonderful as well, up to 65 degrees. We'll continue to cool things down from here. Most of us are going to stay very clear and comfortable and breezy out there. Overnight lows waking up tomorrow morning in the mid-60s. We'll hit 59 though in Ocala, 62 in the Villages, expecting 63 for that overnight low in Leesburg. Very comfortable start to the day in DeLand, down to 63 for that low, 64 at Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach. And Melbourne will cool all the way down to 68, and then we're going to ramp those temperatures right back up as we head to the afternoon. Here's Futurecast. Here's 7 o'clock in the morning. Notice we start out the day with plenty of sunshine out there, and that's the way we'll stay through at least the noon hour. Once we hit noon, that's when we start to watch a bit more cloud cover beginning to build in. And take a look at Futurecast here. Here's 3 o'clock. Before 3, most of us are going to stay dry. Once we hit that 3 o'clock time period, that's when we start to see these showers beginning to pop up on radar as we continue through the afternoon and into the evening by right around 5, 6 o'clock. So not the best timing for your drive home along I-4. I do expect the sea breezes to collide. We'll watch for some heavier showers to pop up from that. Notice those darker reds there showing the heaviest of the downpours. That will all drift its way out to the east. And as we head towards midnight into Tuesday morning, all that shower activity will be moving offshore, and the rest of us will be clearing up our skies. So tomorrow afternoon, before that rain arrives, yeah, we get quite hot. Take a look at these high temperatures. 88 in Orlando, 87 in Sanford, reaching 86 in DeLand. Should hit 88 from the Villages down through Claremont, 87 in Ocala. So after a cool start in Ocala, we're going to warm things right back up. And even along the coastline with that wind out of the southeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour, temperatures will be getting quite toasty. If you're heading out to the beach, be aware, the waves are still quite rough out there. We've had that strong breeze from the southeast, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's whipping up that surf, so we will have a moderate rip current risk. Small craft advisory will likely be in effect tomorrow as well, as those seas will be about 4 to 6 feet. So cold front installed up to the north. That's going to continue to funnel in a bit more moisture as we go throughout the week. So you'll notice the rain chances increasing as we go into the week. Temperatures stay quite high, though. 90 degrees for Wednesday. That would do it for a record high, beating the old record of 89. 90 as well on Thursday. Showers and storms expected as we go from Thursday into Saturday. By Saturday, that cold front finally drops its way down to the south. Now, really cool things down for Sunday. Mostly sunny skies and a high back down to 70 degrees. Hey there, Kendra.
Hey, Alex, you know the weather stayed great for the final round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Another golfer looks to sport a red cardigan. Plus, we recap today's competition and hear from your 2022 Arnold Palmer Invitational winner after the break.
This week on Matter of Fact, we visit a small town where people don't trust the water.
I'm horrified of what we don't know.
Why is it so hard for some communities to get clean, safe water?
Times the Cash Games offer more ways to multiply your winnings. They're the most extreme. Times the Cash Games have over $2.29 billion in total prizes. They're the most extreme.
Daddy's girl. Gonna get that girl a pony, a drum set, and braces, quinceañera, a car, dream college, destination wedding. Are we gonna be okay? Regions. It's a girl!
87% of people think about money all the time. Regions makes it easier to get back to the moment.
This is Dave. He thought he'd save money by getting internet from one company and TV from, well, from multiple providers. You see, Dave and his wife watch live TV, Ella her favorite kid shows, and Henry loves sports. It was costing Dave a lot. So Dave switched to Spectrum. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $49.99 per month each. Call 833-841-4999. Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits includes a free modem and free online security software. And Spectrum TV with over 125 channels includes live local news and regional sports and up to 85,000 on-demand titles. Plus, with the free Spectrum TV app, everyone can stream on their devices anywhere. So now Dave has one bill, one provider, no contracts, and is saving a ton. Be like Dave. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $49.99 per month each. Call 833-841-4999 or visit spectrum.com.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies will try to downplay your case. They say things like, it's only a fender bender, or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows. WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford, where you'll always get a low upfront price on 1,500 cars, trucks, and SUVs, and never pay a dealer fee. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
It's the final round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Hello, I'm Kendra Douglas. Just an up and down day for golfers who went into the final round leading and ending up having to fight for their spot until the final end. Gary Woodland with an eagle right here. Chance on 16. He knocks down the putt and then takes the solo lead. And you just got to watch his emotions because he is pumped about that one. Victor Hovland leading much of the day, but his birdie putt to force a playoff comes up short right here on 18. Hovland ultimately tied for second at 4 under on the day, and you know what? He just would not like that one. And the former Gator, Billy Horschel, just knocks down a birdie putt on 15 to go to 4 under. Horschel needs to make this putt to force a playoff with Scotty Scheffler, and Horschel, he will come up short and he will tie for second at 4 under. Scotty Scheffler will come in with a long birdie putt on 18 and putts this next to the cup. He's able to save par. Scheffler becomes your winner of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. WESH 2 Sports Director Darren Stolzfus spoke with players after today's final round.
On a final round when only 4 players broke par, Scotty Scheffler's round of even par was good enough by a single stroke. The 25-year-old notching his second career win on tour.
With the way this golf course is, you never really feel like you're out of the tournament. You can go out and have a hot round and, fight your way back in. That's what I did yesterday on the back nine, and, I gave myself a chance today. Yeah, I was trying to, force the guys to catch me. Having a one-shot lead, especially how difficult this hole was playing, even though, Victor had a good look, I wasn't going to be over-aggressive with my putt, just trying to lag it up close. It's a pretty long putt, so I was glad to two-putt it.
Brevard County native Billy Horschel entered the day tied for the lead, but couldn't get this putt on 18 to fall. Tried to force a playoff instead. Falls into a three-way tie for second place.
I'm not going to lie. I read it, and I've heard Tiger say he's ready, and he's always played a little bit more break, and I played it probably 2 more balls than what my initial read was. And I think I hit it a little too hard, played a little too much high. I'm a little disappointed, but, we'll wake up tomorrow with a lot of good things and a lot of momentum going into next week.
This one stings. My last couple of wins, I felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. This one was more like I felt like I should have won, and those sting a little bit.
I asked Scheffler how he expected to celebrate winning this red cardigan, his second PGA Tour win. He said he doesn't have a hotel room. His parents don't have a hotel room. They're driving to Grandma's house up in Jacksonville. At least they can get ready for the Players next week. From Bay Hill, Darren Stoltzfus, send it back to you.
Oh, how sweet is that? All right, who knows when we will have Major League Baseball again, but here is the latest from today's session of Major League Baseball's negotiations. League owners not happy at all with players and accusing the union of backtracking and showing no signs of breakthrough. The sides spoke with each other on the 95th day of the lockout. Some of the proposed issues include allowing MLB to ban shifts, implementing a pitch clock, and making the bases larger in 2023. If Commissioner Rob Manfred cancels an additional series through April 13th and 14th, he would wipe out 93 more games and increase the total to 184. All right, well, stay with us. More to come after the break.
And about showing them you care. So, show up for your health and theirs. HCA Florida Healthcare makes your care easier, friendlier, and smarter. And you're at the center of it all. HCA Florida Healthcare. We show up for you.
Find your place. Write your story. Heck, rewrite it. Raise a family. Raise your expectations. Raise the roof. Let's make possible happen. PennyMac is the mortgage lender who gets you there with the right loan, the right rate, at the right time. This is the address of your life. Choose the lender over 4 million homeowners have relied on. PennyMac, greatness lives here.
You're invited. The Rooms to Go anniversary sale is going on now. So get ready to save big with 66-month interest-free financing and low monthly payments on incredible styles store-wide starting at $5.99. Amazing pieces, beautiful rooms, great sale prices, and low interest-free monthly payments for 66 months starting at $5.99. Let's go. The anniversary sale at Rooms to Go is going on now.
At JP Morgan, the only definition of wealth that matters is yours. It can be a smaller house, but a bigger nest egg, a goal to work toward, or the freedom to walk away. With 200 years of experience, personalized advice, and commission-free trades on an award-winning app, we're working for you. Planning, investing, advice. JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Papa John's fresh, never frozen dough is now available in hand-stretched, oversized New York-style crust. Fold it, don't fold it. There's no wrong way to eat it.
At Toyota Orlando and Toyota Claremont, it's the Ready, Set, Go sales event. Hurry in to get our best selection now. Through this weekend, you can buy a 2021 Corolla LE for only $15,988. You can reduce your time spent in the dealership by 95% using our online shopping tools. You can customize your deal and quickly get your price and payment options. We'll even deliver the vehicle to you. Ready, set, go to Toyota Orlando, I-4 across from Millennium Mall, and Toyota Claremont, Highway 50 just west of the Turnpike. Watch WESH 2 News Sunrise for traffic updates, driven by Toyota Orlando and Toyota Claremont.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
For a second straight day, Ukraine is accusing Russia of breaking a ceasefire, preventing civilians from escaping cities now under attack. Humanitarian groups say at least 1.5 million people have now fled Ukraine. As NBC's Chris Pallone reports, Ukraine's allies are considering plans to give it more fighter jets.
The Ukrainian government says Russian forces broke a ceasefire agreement Sunday, shelling civilians trying to evacuate the country.
They again, for the second time, refused to allow women and children to get out and for the humanitarian goods to get into Mariupol.
Outside Kyiv, video corroborated by the New York Times appears to show people being hit as they